everybody. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 playoff-bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 New York Jets. And why are the New York Jets 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. Plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan, right? So please feel free, fire away. Before we get started, if anybody wants help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And also, in the description box, a little farther down, there's 2 additional links. The top one is a Facebook link. I'll get over that get to that in just a second. The next one is my Twitter page. Right, to me, it's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. It'll be Twitter forever. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on him. I'm not referring to it as that. It's Twitter. You follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's a promise. And I try to put stuff in there every day. Okay. And also the other link, the one right above that link above it is a Facebook link. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron, right? We have over 6,900 members in there. It's doing simply marvelous, simply fantastic. I got stuff going in there every day. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, there's stuff going in this group every day. Basically, darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in there, but if you become a member, members post stuff in there as well, too. So between me and members, there's a ton of New York Giants information every day going in this group. It's called the New York Giants Gridiron. Join it, become a member. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise you. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. All right, here we go. Well, it's with the injuries and guys coming, guys going, because we, put some guys on injury reserve. We have Giants had a couple running backs. One of them, of course, good old Corbin's coming back, which is cool. Really, really good. You always hate to see guys go, especially when he's been on the team. He was on the team last season. Right. And then, he was on, on a team this season, but so you always hate to see him go, but at least he's coming back. So the Giants added a couple of running backs. This is, we got this Giants.com. Giants added 2 running backs to their roster as they made several moves beginning their practice week today. They host, obviously, the Jets on Sunday. Corbin, who spent the entire 2022 season on the Giants practice squad and was with the team in training camp, was signed off the Carolina Panthers practice squad. The other back added to the roster is Adoree Jackson, whom they claimed off waivers after he was released by the Browns. So he was claimed off waivers, so he's going to go on probably on the practice squad. Corbin, they took off of somebody's practice squad, which means you have to put him on your 53-man roster. So the additions give the Giants 5 running backs on their active roster. Got Saquon, Breida, and Brightwell. So you got the killer bees: Barkley, Breida, Brightwell. Brightwell, who injured his hamstring in the victory against Washington last week. So this is hence the problem. Brightwell injured his hamstring, and then Gray injured his calf. So the Giant might have 5 on the roster, but basically almost half of them are injured. It's, you don't quite have 5, right? The Giants also signed veteran linebacker Justin Hollins. I'm going to go over him just in a minute. So then they go over here. They talk about Corbin, 5'11", 205. Originally joined the Giants as a rookie free agent in 2022. Now, because now, remember, he's got ties to Shane and Dable. Brightwell don't, right? Gray does, Corbin does, Brightwell doesn't. So that's why I'm sure they, especially, and it's so important. Because you can basically bring them in, throw him on the 53, and with this a small refresher, he's almost going to be good to go. Right now, how many snaps he's going to wind up getting, who knows? But let's see here. Corbin was the Giants' second leading rusher in the preseason with 51 yards and 1 touchdown on 16 carries. What is it? 16, that's like a little over 3 yards a carry. So, the Giants did not have a good running game in preseason. That is for sure. He was also tied for second with 6 receptions for 30 yards. Corbin was waived on August 29th and signed to the Panthers practice squad like a couple days later. In college, Corbin played 2 seasons, both for Texas A&M and Florida State. In 35 career games, he had 320 carries for 1,771 yards, 5.5-yard average, 14 touchdowns with a long run of 89 yards. He had 60 receptions for 360 yards and 2 more scores. So basically, he averaged 6 yards a reception. Jackson, all right, 5'11", 216 pounds, who also entered the NFL as an undrafted rookie with Indianapolis in 2022. He's from Duke. In 2+ seasons with the Colts, Jackson played in 27 games with 3 starts, including 1 this season. He was cut on September 23rd, signed to the Browns practice squad 3 days later, and was elevated to the active roster Saturday, 1 day before he played 7 special team snaps in his only game for Cleveland at Indianapolis. The Browns released him on Monday. Jackson's career totals includes 94 rushing attempts, 284 yards, so basically 3 yards a carry, and he has 2 touchdowns. Plus, he has 35 receptions for 223 yards, which is what? 6 yards of reception, and he has 1 score. So his most productive season was in 2022 when he played in 16 games with 2 starts, rushed for 236 yards and 1 touchdown in 68 attempts. So, that's 68. That's like a little over 3 yards a carry. Yeah. And he caught 30 passes, 209 yards. So a little under 7 yards a reception. So Jackson started in 2023 season opener against Jacksonville. He totaled 28 yards from scrimmage. So, and we're gonna go over good old Hollins here. Justin Hollins signed with the Giants. Now, Hollins, pull this up here. Where are we at here? Not too bad. He's been with some teams. He's been with Denver, the Rams, and Green Bay. Now he's with the Giants. Okay. This season, let's see here. With Green Bay, he played in weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4. He played on defense. Well, let's see. Let me see here. Defense, 84 snaps. Special teams, let's see. 20 snaps. So, what does he play on? Play on 1 punt return. That looks like the main one. He's played 20 special team snaps this season. 15 of them were for punt return. All right. But on defense this season, he played in the first 4 weeks for Green Bay. A grand total of 84 snaps, so nothing super spectacular. He was in coverage for 3 snaps, pass rush for 42 snaps, run defense for 39. Now, his run defense, once again, I'm just going this season by PFF. That's all I'm going by. It's not been bad. Run defense was graded out of 71 on the 39 run defensives. His tackling is a 77.1. He only has, what do we got? He has 5 tackles, 2 assists, but it's a very small sample size, but he hasn't missed any tackles. So his tackling grade is very, very good. His pass rush grade is a 52.2. So now he's like edge. What is he? 6'5", 248. So that's kind of 248, 6'5" nice. So you're not sure if he's going to be like, if he'll be an edge, if he's going to be some type of outside linebacker. You're not sure. His overall defensive grade is a 64.1 this season. All right. What do we got? Seasons in the past. His rookie season with Denver, he played 266 snaps, 55.8 overall. His run defense has always been very good. He's very good at run defense. As I just rattle off his 5 run defensive grades from 2019, 20, 21, 22, and this season. 68.9, 70.4, 73.7, 63.8, and a 71. So his run defense is very, very good. His pass rush is, but he's good at run defense, right? So, I mean, it's basically 6'5", 248. Right? Not sure how much he's going to want him getting in there, especially, we just brought him in. He needs to learn the Martindale way of life and everything. So, but let's see. In 2019 with Denver, 266 snaps, 55.8. 2020 with Los Angeles, 427 snaps, 67.5 overall grade. 2021 with Los Angeles, 279 snaps, 64.3. Then he was with Los Angeles and Green Bay in 2022, graded out at a 54. But this season with Green Bay, he's graded out at 64.1. So, certainly nothing super horrible. Is he going to come in and be a gangbuster or nothing like that? Probably not. But a nice solid, some good depth if they need him. As it says, Hollins has been released twice from the Packers 53-man roster. He's been released twice. That's just sometimes that's just the life of some of these guys. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's like sometimes they're maybe on the practice squad, they get released, and then they maybe don't get claimed, and they get brought back on the practice squad. They get elevated, brought back down on the practice squad. They get released, they get brought back. I mean, it's just sometimes it's like a freaking whirlwind. Let's see here. On Tuesday, let's see. Former Green Bay Packers outside linebacker Justin Hollins had signed to the New York Giants practice squad, ending his stint with the Packers. Hollins was originally picked up by Green Bay off of waivers last season and re-signed on a 1-year deal with the team during free agency. In total, Hollins suited up for the Packers 10 times over 2022 and 2023, recording 2.5 sacks, 3 tackles for losses for the team. Hollins' last game as on an active roster for Green Bay was in September when the Packers lost to the Detroit Lions in Week 4. Since then, Hollins has been released twice, once to make room for the promotion of running back Patrick Taylor to the active roster and wants to make room for the activation of cornerback Eric Stokes from the physically unable to perform list. Like Taylor, Hollins has gone from a game day active to signing with another team's practice squad in a matter of weeks. I mean, that's just the life of an NFL player. This is Hollins, 6'5", 248. It's a nice size, nice height. He's played in 59 regular season games with 7 starts for Denver, the Rams, and Green Bay. He also played in 6 postseason games, including the Rams' Super Bowl victory against Cincinnati. His career totals of 110 tackles, 65 solo, 9.5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, 15 quarterback hits, 3 passes defense, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery, and a partridge in a pear tree. In the postseason, he has 8 tackles, 5 solo, and 2 quarterback hits. So, nothing is too big for him, right? The man's ain't nothing the guy hasn't done. He's been on the practice squad. He's been in the postseason. He's been on the regular season. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. So, right, so nothing's too big for him. He knows, right? He just then needs, how long he's going to be on the Giants practice squad, who knows? But he needs to learn the Wink Martindale way of life. But I mean, that's if we have to call him up, once he learns, it'd be some solid depth. Put it to you that way, right? Some experience and some solid depth. The whirlwind, and we got, of course, we put. We have Parrott. So there we go. Put Parrott on the IR, right? Zudu went on the IR. Lemieux went on the IR. So basically in the past couple of weeks or whatever. But on the bright side, we do have Andrew Thomas, right? And John Michael Schmitz practicing. But it doesn't seem like it's extremely promising. From a maybe to be playing this weekend, but let's see here. Eric Dable met with the media Wednesday afternoon on the patio at the Quest Diagnostic Training Center, where the head coach previewed the week ahead. Here's what you need to know. Left tackle Andrew Thomas, on the other hand, returned to practice in a limited capacity. So, I mean, if we're talking, if he's limited on Wednesday, so we got Thursday, Friday, I mean, is all of a sudden 4 days later, is he's going to be good to go? Kind of doubtful. But he's not played since week 1 when he suffered his hamstring injury. The 2022 All-Pro selection has not practiced even a limited capacity since the Thursday leading into week 4. Everybody's practicing in some capacity except for running back Gary Brightwell, who left Sunday's game with a hamstring injury. Defensive lineman Len Williams had a vet day. Rookie center John Michael Schmitz, the team's second draft choice, who has been sidelined since week 4 with a shoulder injury, also returned to practice in a limited capacity. Said, let him practice and we'll see how it goes by the end of the week. All those guys that have been out for a while are getting better because everybody is trending in the right direction, but everybody has their own timeline, their own specific timeline. Everybody is, it's not like Andrew Thomas pulled his hamstring. Okay, hamstring is 2 weeks. Guaranteed 14 days, he'll be back playing again. No. So, and with John Michael Schmitz, we're on his shoulder. We don't even know what's going on. Was it separated? Well, I mean, we have no idea what's going on. I think Patty Traynor also said she saw, I think it was her, said that she saw John Michael Schmitz obviously in the locker room. And I guess he was going into his locker or something, like he was like reaching for something, whatever it was. So it wasn't like, it didn't have like in a sling, or he was kind of like, or reaching with his good arm and kind of like, Tyrannosaurus Rex kind of, reaching with it. He said it like reaching for stuff. So, I mean, who knows? Some of these things, obviously, a lot of these things, what exactly is wrong, you don't know. Let's see here. Then, of course, we got who else? Then you have Daniel Jones, right? Is the same as he was last week at this point. He won't take any team reps as he has yet to be cleared for contact. He's feeling better. And when the doctors tell me he's cleared, then he's cleared. Jones has missed the last 2 games with a neck injury. He is limited in practice last week and was listed as questionable heading into Sunday. And it's funny. It's like, I don't know. I understand that the press got to do their job and all that stuff. But it's like every time it's like, so when Daniel Jones comes back, he's your starter, right? Yes, he is. When he's back the very next day, somebody else. So when Daniel Jones comes back and he's healthy, right? He's your starter, right? And I think Dable even said this. I've said this a couple of times, guys. Yeah. Then, like, the next day goes by. So, Daniel Jones, when he's healthy, he'll be your starter, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like Patty Traynor. It was like, I don't know. It's unbelievable, some of the stuff that they like if Brian Dable says, when Daniel Jones, he's healthy, he'll be your starter, right? Yes, he will. Okay. So then the next day, I guess when he says yes, he will, I guess that doesn't, I don't know. Some of the reporters don't quite seem to grasp that means yes, he will. So somebody will ask him again. So when Daniel Jones is healthy, he's your starter, right? And then if Brian Dable doesn't say, yes, he will, if he says, yes, that he will be, yes, then they're like, oh my God, he said like an extra word in there or something. So that must mean there's got to be a controversy. It's got to be a quarterback because he said, yes, he will yesterday. But today he said, yes, he will. Yes, he will. So that wasn't what he said yesterday. So he changed his words. He said the same thing, but he didn't say him the same exact way. So he changed it. So that means we got a quarterback controversy. So that's what that means. That means when Daniel Jones comes back, Tyrod Taylor's, that's what that means. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it's like every time, it's every day. One of the morons out there got to ask him the same thing. And I really feel sorry for Brian Dable. So Daniel Jones was the same as he was last week. It looks like the New York Giants could be headed toward a third straight week with Tyrod Taylor. And the one thing that I do like, okay, is that having Tyrod is that the Jets are like, just from watching videos and stuff and all that, throwing the ball deep on them is, especially if you got a Sauce on the side, Gardner out there, he's obviously, but we did see him preseason. Hyatt took Sauce, turned him into a piece of bread, put him in a toaster, pushed the button down, whatever, and held it down for about 3 hours. And when he let Sauce Gardner up out of the toaster, he was burned, right? So keep an eye out for that. I mean, and Tyrod's had some nice passes to the outside, nice passes, nice touch passes and everything. So keep an eye out for that. But the Jets, their run defense is not the greatest. So hopefully we can get something out of Saquon running the ball wise. So look for stuff maybe underneath. The biggest thing here we have to be careful of this week, and which is good, that quite possibly Tyrod might be the starting quarterback here, is the Jets. I forgot what I think they're top 5. I think as far third or the top 5, whatever, as far as takeaways, and they had a bye. All right, so what they do is their defense will get takeaways, quite possibly give their offense a short field, and they turn that into points. So the Giants got to be careful. If the Jets are going to score points, they got to earn them. They got to, whatever. Let the Scottish Hammer catch a ball, boom it as far as you can. The Jets are good on special teams, though, too, so we've got to be careful about that. But let them boom it out of there. We'll go down there, cover it, and make them go 75, 80 yards, whatever it might be, down the field. If they can go 80 yards or whatever down the field, score a touchdown, God bless them. More power to you, brother. But we got to make sure that that's what they wind up doing. We can't, the fumbles, interceptions, and stuff like that. We got to get the ball, keep the ball out of harm's way. And Tyrod Taylor is very, very good at that. So that might play into the Giants' hands very, very well with Tyrod. Control, he's just as cool as the other side of the pillow, right? As calm, cool demeanor, nothing frazzles him or nothing like that. We got to give him some protection, but he's very good with the ball. So that's, as they say, any drive that ends in a kick is going to be good, whether it's a field goal, an extra point, or a punt. So you can make the Jets score points by driving the length of the field. Don't give them nothing short. Let's see here. That means that Jones, who has not played since suffering his injury and being sacked against the Dolphins, can practice on a limited basis, but is not cleared for contact. Jones has said he can throw, run, and lift weights. Okay, but lifting weights is not, contact in the NFL. The medical staff, though, has not yet given him the green light to take contact. He's doing better, and then when the doctors tell me he's cleared, then he's cleared, Dable said. After practice, Jones said he was feeling better, continuing to improve. Feel a lot better than I did after the injury, Jones said. Continue to improve week by week and day by day. Jones said that there are a number of tests doctors are looking at to decide when he will be ready to play. I can do pretty much everything, Jones says. I can throw, I can run, I can lift. It's just the contact, which is, I feel good. I don't have any pain, which is, it's just passing a couple more tests. So he doesn't have any more pain. Okay, we will see. Let's see. Jones did admit there's still some symptoms from the original injury, though. Anytime you're talking about the neck, you have to understand the risk of re-injury and what would happen if you were to re-injure it, Jones said. Yep. Dable said Jones is in constant communication with the doctors and did seem to hold on to the possibility he could be cleared by the end of the week. So, you keep your fingers crossed, but, those neck injuries are, there's two things I said you don't want to mess around with. One of them's inside here. You start getting a lot of concussions or whatever like that. And the other thing is the thing that runs up and down. You got all those nerves in there and everything like that. And something goes wrong, pinches one of those or whatever, Right? You do want to, there's playing football, but then there's life after football. And, say you go in, right, at 22 of playing football, and say you play for 10 years, right? So say you have to retire. Just say you retire. Well, like a Saquon, right? He retires 32. 10 years of being a running back in the NFL. That's a long career. That's a good. So say he retires after 32. Well, any good luck, right? And God willing and all, he'll live for another 50 years. Say he lives to 82. Well, the 10 years that you're in the NFL, you're going to maybe have 50 years after that. You want those 50 years to be livable. You don't want, a limp or concussions or, pinched nerves or any, you want to live a nice life after that. So it's hard to believe. I know after these guys go through all of this and stuff, but there is life after football, and it's nice to have an enjoyable, comfortable life after football. That doesn't happen with everybody. So then, of course, we have Saquon, because he hyperextended, I believe, his elbow. Saquon elbow was limited at Wednesday's practice against the Jets. Barkley injured his elbow last week against the Commanders, but he still racked up over 100 yards from scrimmage for the first time this season and scored his first touchdown. So he was limited. So he should be good to go. And the hyperextension, I'm sure if worse comes to worse, they can always put something on, a brace or whatever on there. So maybe hope for where it doesn't get hyperextended again. That's not good. And we need him in the lineup big time. Now, this next here says, Saquon is staying put. Absolutely. Giants coach Brian Dable ruled out Saquon Barkley trade before deadline. He says that's not happening. Says the star running back will stay put through 2023. And, honestly, to me, if we're dishing out, $25 million of the sexy one, 2025, whatever, to Andrew Thomas. We're dishing out $40 million to Daniel Jones. We're dishing out money like it's freaking candy. And I understand with the injury and I understand that and all, but there's a distinct difference when Saquon's in the lineup and when Saquon's not in the lineup. Or meaning, shall I say, when Saquon's not playing in the game and Saquon is playing in the game. There's a difference. And, I just have a hard time, well, we're going to give him 10. He wants 11 guaranteed, but we only want, it's like, I don't know. They need to really, sit down and look at the offense when Saquon's on the sideline and he's not playing. Then they know when he's in the game, when he's practicing, he has the pads on and everything like that, and he's playing the game. They need to look at that. I don't want to say it's night and day, but it's pretty damn close to night and day. There's a huge difference when Saquon is on the field, whether he gets the ball or not. Huge freaking difference. Now, I can see if, you trying to give Saquon 10 and he wants 20. Okay, yeah, we got ourselves. Houston, we got ourselves a problem here. I get it. I understand. But, the salary cap is just jumping. It's going to be close to $250 million soon. It's up there. You can't come up with another $1 million. Are you serious? Really? Come on. Really? Yeah. There's a huge difference when Saquon's on the field and when he's not. Just the threat of him getting the ball out of the backfield, the threat of him running out of the backfield, maybe catching a pass. We saw what he did, right? Against Washington, scored the touchdown, right? Huge difference. I think they're really, really foolish if they don't want to re-sign him next season too. Give the man $12 million or whatever guaranteed a season, right? Put him on get him signed, get him locked up. As I said, once again, if you guys if he's maybe face value is only worth 10 and he wants 20 million or something like, yeah, all right, okay, have a good one. God bless you, brother. Thank you for your time. But if we're talking $1 million or $2, and I understand it's not my money, I get it, but there's a big difference. There's a nice noticeable difference, shall I say, when he's when he's playing and when he's hurt. There's a difference, and just having him on the field is huge. It's not time to be no freaking penny pinchers. Sign the man for another season. Sign the man to give him $12 million or whatever it might be, right? If you can't work out a long-term 3-year deal or something like that, at least get him signed. Give him $12 million, whatever. Because it's a huge difference when he's playing. It absolutely is. He's just another weapon. As you saw, that 32-yard pass took out of the backfield, took a yard or two. Whoever the hell was covering him. Are you freaking serious? Trying to cover him with I don't remember who was covering him, but I don't even think the guy even touched him. He runs down the sideline, gets to like the 5-yard line, fakes like one or two guys out, and walks into the end zone. It's like, yeah, come on, man. Sign the guy. Let's not be ridiculous. So I hope we're not having, hopefully they can find, out of the $250 million or whatever, I hope they can find themselves an extra $1 million or so to make him happy, right, next season. Because, you also got to remember, because, out of the 40 or whatever, 40, 50, whatever we might have to spend next season, a lot of these guys aren't signed. Saquon's one of them. So, all right. And then we got, so I said, hopefully, at least they're not trading him. He doesn't want to leave the Giants, and the Giants have assured the running back he'll stay put a week ahead of the trade deadline. Coach Brian Daboll told reporters Wednesday. He won't be dealt. That's not happening. Good. Thank goodness. Daboll added that he specifically informed Barkley of the team's plans to keep him last week amid speculation the Pro Bowler could be shopped ahead of the October 31st deadline, the Halloween deadline. Previous reports indicated Barkley, Daboll, and the Giants general manager Joe Schoen had a discussion about the running back remaining in New York, with Barkley later revealing he doesn't want to change teams midseason. Former first-round draft pick notably failed to strike a long-term contract with the Giants this offseason after receiving the franchise tag. Barkley even entertained a holdout into the season before agreeing to a reworked one-year deal in July. He's set to become a free agent for the second straight offseason after the 2023 campaign. So, the Giants could franchise tag him once again. And But this next season, he would be guaranteed, I believe, a little over $12 million. So let's see. Barkley had a career rushing year under Dable in 2022, logging a personal best 1,312 yards along with 10 touchdowns. He struggled to match that success behind an ailing offensive line this year, averaging just 3.8 yards per carry through 4 games. Back from an ankle injury in week 7, however, that he was a factor in the pass game with 3 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. So, but I mean, he's a big time factor, and I said, it's not even so much if he gets the ball. I mean, if you can get him, Waller, and Hyatt on the field at the same time, it's like, when Waller runs out, they got to pay attention to him. When Hyatt's out over here, going that way, it's like, holy crap. You one wrong step, one this, one that, whatever, he's past you. And it hasn't turned, we haven't seen long 60, 70-yard touchdown bombs to Hyatt, but we've seen long receptions, completions to Hyatt. So you got Saquon, you got Waller, you got Hyatt out there, you got those 3. Saquon goes this way, a couple of linebackers or whatever going this way, Waller coming over the middle, some guys are, maybe the safeties keep an eye on him, Hyatt's flying down over, You got 3 headache players. I think Paul Dottino says that. 3 headache players. 3 guys that can make things happen on any given play. They're out there for the Giants running around. The problem is the Giants, with their offensive line, and this could be, once again, this could be another week where we might have possibly, we don't know, could be possibly the 8th different starting offensive lineup for the Giants. I mean, right? So we have no continuity there at all with the offensive line. But I mean, if we can ever get, any kind of continuity with the offensive line, quarterback can drop back in the pocket, get some protection, right? And you got Slayton, Robinson over the middle, catching to something short, Waller and Hyatt, and then you got Saquon back there. I'm not saying we got the greatest offense of all football, but if we can ever get ourselves a dog, the number 1. Hyatt can be a deep threat, but somebody who can, like a Diggs, somebody like that. If we could ever get somebody like that, then watch out. Once again, it helps if they have the offensive line, but I said between Waller, Hyatt, Robinson, Slayton, and Barkley, right? So if we can get ourselves a top. Maybe in the draft this season, who knows? But or free agency or whatever. But we get ourselves a dog of a wide receiver, a number 1. Whew, it'd be absolutely fantastic. All right, then I saw this here, and they got 3 players the Giants. This one, who is this here? Bleacher Report must consider. Must consider. They should. Certainly think about trading. 2 of these guys makes a lot of sense to me. 2 of these guys make a lot of sense. Of course, they're not getting a lot of time. They're not getting a lot of playing time. One of them, one of these 3, I'd really hate to see go. But so 3 players. First one, Paris Campbell. Now it's a damn shame because you go out and you sign the guy. Right, and here it is, like halfway through the season, you're thinking about just letting him go, But I mean, if you start looking, where are we at here? Paris Campbell offense. What do we got? I mean, week 1 against Dallas, he's in it for 47 snaps. You'll notice his production, not his production, but his playing time is coming down. Week 2 was 45 snaps against Arizona. But then week 3 against San Fran, 21 snaps. Week 4 against Seattle, 23 snaps. But then against Miami, 16 snaps this past week against Washington, 4 snaps. Against Buffalo, he didn't even play any. So he had 16 snaps against Miami. Buffalo, he had no snaps on offense. Washington, he had 4 snaps. So in the past 3 games, he's been in it for 20 snaps. I mean, his role is really, really diminishing. Really diminishing. I mean, he's fast. He's healthy. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to get a third rounder for him, but if you can trade, the only one thing was be having him on the all that and everything would be like if we start getting injuries. Fortunately for the Giants, we've had injuries, but to our wide receiver group, it's not happened, which is rare for the Giants because usually you got Sterling Shepard, you got yourself some injuries, but that hasn't happened with the Giants wide receivers. So that's why I'm saying like having Cole Beasley, it's not with the team no more, but Paris Campbell, especially with so Wan'Dale Robinson got hurt last season. Sterling Shepard got hurt last season. Unfortunately, we let Jamison Crowder go. But having some of these extra wide receivers, because the Giants usually get their wide receivers, some get dinged up, right? And so having extra guys. But I mean, if his role is diminishing, we got the 25th, soon to be the 26th. We got like 5 days left before the trade deadline. It may not be a bad idea to think about. I mean, especially if they're not playing him. He's going to be sitting on the sideline drinking Kool-Aid. Why not trade him, get rid of him, and get maybe a 7th round draft pick for him? Better than nothing. All right, then the next guy. And this is the one that would hurt, but Sterling Shepard. Now, if you start looking at him, Sterling Shepard, where are we at here? Let's see. I mean, once again, his playing time is, obviously the muff punt. All right, offense. Let's see here. I mean, he's played 62 offensive snaps this whole season. 7 games, 62 offensive snaps. 14 snaps against Dallas, 10 against Arizona, 2 against the 49ers, 5 against Seattle. So between 49ers and Seattle, he played 7 snaps. 20 snaps against Miami, 1 against Buffalo, 1, and 10 against Washington. So he's played 62 offensive snaps in 7 games. I mean, then I said, they try to, maybe use him maybe as a punt returner. Well, that didn't work out, right? So it's, I mean, if his role is being, and once again, it hurts, because I mean, he's the longest tenured Giant, right? 2016, we took Eli, the worthless piece of human trash bum that he is, Apple, 1st round. 2nd round, we took Sterling Shepard. All right, so he's been around since 2016. The guy's got a heart of gold. You want him on the sideline. You want him in a lot, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, once again, if his role is being diminished, if you're not using him, once again, think about maybe trading him if you can. Get a 7th round pick for him if you can. I mean, good quality veteran, wide receiver. Trade him to a team that has good aspirations of going to the playoffs and maybe even farther in the playoffs. After his playing career's over, man, if they were to trade him, doesn't mean they're going to trade him, but I mean, after his career's over, I would definitely bring the guy back. Some capacity, get him in the New York Giants organization. Let him doing whatever and find something for him. So the guy, it seems like, his attitude and all of that stuff and everything, the dude's a Giant. So hopefully after his career's over, hopefully the Giants find something for the guy to do, whether it's assistant coach, wide receiver coach, whatever. Find something for the guy to frickin' do. Because love Sterling Shepard. Love the dude's attitude. Absolute winner. But once again, I said, I mean, if he's only getting like 6, 7, 8 snaps a game, it's like, All right, then the third one, it kind of makes some sense here. Adoree Jackson. Now, of course, remember, he was out against Washington. The Giants did pretty well. Once again, we were going against Sam Howell. He gets sacked. We had a lot of pressure on him. So, he's not like, I mean, going against the Eagles, going up against the 49ers, going up against the Bills, going up against the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So, the Commanders were a little different breed of animal. But, I mean, the youngins held out pretty good. Flott, Hawkins, and Banks, what was that, like 4 years? They got 4 years of combined experience between those 3 guys. I mean, they did pretty well. Let's also not forget, somewhere along the line, maybe if Moses can part the Red Sea one more time, we might get Aaron, injured 99% of my NFL career, Robinson, back. Wouldn't that be a miracle? Huh? I mean, let's not forget about him. I mean, I had some high expectations for him. But he's always, he's one of those guys. He's the Ellerson Smith. He's the Aaron Robinson. He's the Shane Lemieux, right? I mean, the guys that can't even walk onto the field without something going wrong. You feel bad for the guy. You feel horrible for all those guys. I mean, how come you can't take one snap without pulling your hand? Why? Why? I mean, you feel horrible for these guys. But he's always injured. Always something wrong with him. But, I mean, listen to Patty Train, I think she was the one talking about, said something along the line. I'm kind of hoping that Aaron Robinson, maybe within these next couple of weeks, we might get the guy back. Wouldn't that be great? So I'm saying, so if you're going to have Aaron Robinson coming back, if you got Deontay Banks, you got Trey Hawkins, you still got Holmes, you got, Flott. So you still got some guys, I mean, it would probably wouldn't be such a great idea maybe to get rid of your number one cornerback, but I mean, Deontay Banks might be the number one right now, to tell you the truth. But the thing is you also got to look at too is that Adoree Jackson is probably not going to be back next season. So if you're not going to maybe miss him so much, maybe a little bit you'll miss him in the secondary, especially because when we got to play Dallas again, got to play the Eagles a couple of times. We still got some good. But if he's not coming back next year, if he's not in your future, if you think some of these youngins can take his place, get rid of him because he's got a nice size salary, so you'll save yourself some money this season if you can get rid of him. Maybe once again you'll get yourself a late third-round pick for him, maybe a sixth rounder, maybe for him. Who knows? But I mean, it does kind of make sense. Let's see here. Says the Giants have a decent amount of impeding defensive free agents who they can deal at the deadline. Adoree Jackson is one of the more intriguing pieces of the Giants roster. He could be a starter at cornerback on any contending squad. Yes. And he's still relatively, he's not 30 yet, right? And he would not cost much on the trade market because of his 2024 free agent status. The Giants have to weigh whether they want to collect draft picks in the next week or try to make a push at the playoff places in the NFC. Now, I do think, the possibility, this game here could be huge, right? If the Giants win, they're 3-5. Got the Commanders coming up, got the Saints coming up, right? We got the Packers coming up, we got the Raiders coming up. We got some, we got some winnable games coming up. We got the Rams, we got some games we could win. If we fall to 2-6, we still got to play the Cowboys, got to play the Eagles a couple more times, and we're 2-6. That's almost maybe 3 losses right there. Now you're looking at 2-9. Means you'd have to run the rest of the table of the games just to be maybe 8-9. I don't know about that. So this game here could be really, really huge for the Giants. If they're 3-5, we're only game somehow 2-5. The Giants are only like a game and a half out of the last playoff spot, last wild card spot. Go figure, huh? How about the NFL, right? But so if we're 2-6, the season's not over, but for the playoffs, you'd probably pretty much have to say it's over. So this game coming up is really, really be huge for the Giants. It says that they play the New York Jets on Sunday before they embark on a 3-game road swing to face the Raiders, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. Now, now whether they could. I'm not saying they're going to, but they could beat the Commanders. They could beat the Raiders. They could go 2-1 out of those 3 games. They could beat the Jets. If they beat the Jets, they could possibly be 3-1 out of the next 4 games, right? So that would put them at what? 3 or 5. That would be what? They'd be 5-6 with 6 games to go. Anything's possible then. 5-6. They got a lot of momentum going for them. Possible. Not saying it's going to happen, but New York could go 3-1 its next 4 games and completely switch the complexion of its season. But there is also the harsh reality that it could go 1-3 or 0-4 and be 100% out of the playoff discussion. Yep, the Giants front office needs to realistically weigh these options to determine if Jackson and other veterans are worth putting on the trade block. Yeah, like with Jackson, because he's probably not going to be back next year, right? Trade him, get us, because we only got six draft picks next season, right? If we can pick up a couple more, that would be pretty special. At least get 7 or 8 wouldn't be bad, even if they're a 6th round or a 7th round pick. Anything's possible. But they said with Adoree Jackson probably not coming back next year. But I said, but this game coming up is really, really huge. If we wind up for 2-6, the season's over as far as playoffs. There's still it's 8. We still got 9 games left to go. Still got a lot of football. We still got more than half the season left to go. But as far as playoffs, you can probably pretty much kiss the season goodbye. So this game coming up against the Jets is absolutely huge. So. All right, guys. Well, it's been 50 minutes. Anybody spending any time listening to me live? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching a replay, this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, it's like 3 days. You guys stay safe and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.